Hey, what's up? Welcome to the 1804 show. I'm your host, Dollar Will. We got a special episode. Special episode. Yeah, we doing it. We getting popping. But yeah, I got a special friend of mine from the D. We finna get this interview popping. But yeah, man, had a good time last night with this episode 21 with the great Harvey Davis, man. We just getting it popping. You know, it just feels good, man. Hey, Mac, what up, baby? Yeah, we finna get it popping, man. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Things be crazy how jealousy plays a part. You know, there's a lot of people who hate to see you win. They hate to see you make it. You know, all of this was hard work. All of this was patience. All of this was, you know, trials and tribulations. But at the end of the day, it's all about going harder. You know, being in competition with yourself. And that's all I am. Competition with myself. I'm not trying to compete with anybody else. Nobody's my enemy, you know what I'm saying? All I gotta say is show me my opponent. But yeah, we finna get it popping. You know, he's talking to me through the messages and everything. So, but yeah, the message of today is fuck what they think. Do what you gotta do. Win. Don't give up. Whatever goal, whatever dream you wanna do that. Turn my brightness on. You know what I'm saying? You see me, I'm just grinding. I'm a hustler, you know. And I don't believe in just, you know, stopping. You know, always take the day to work on yourself. Always take time to rebrand yourself, reinvent yourself. Because, shoot, you got to take yourself seriously before somebody else does. And that's real talk. But yeah, we finna get this episode popping. Waiting on my guests to come in. And, you know what I'm saying, shout out to Cole Hart. You know what I'm saying, shout out to my homie Napoleon for the hoodie. You know, I'm loving the love that I'm getting. I'm loving the flowers, loving the support, loving everything. You know, I'm doing this for my city. You know, we need to start coming together. You know what I'm saying? The Super Friends became the Super Friends. Even though they had their own individual powers, they all came together and became the Super Friends. And that's something that us Saginaw people need to do, you know what I'm saying? In order for change to come. So, but yeah, we finna get it popping. Finna bring that heat. But yeah, man, we gonna run this song back, man. I love this song. The songs are so true right here. I will be leaving it in my wall so y'all can go back and listen to it. You know, it's about real friends, man. And, you know, I'm big on loyalty. I'm big on genuine love and sincerity. Like, I don't do betrayal. I can't handle it so well because my heart pure. You know, my heart good. You know what I'm saying? And when you have been through betrayal, you never want to go through that again. So you really, you know, pick and choose your circle wisely. You know, you be careful who you kick it with. You be careful who you call your friend, man. And a lot of my friends, man, right now, man, everybody, I don't got a question who's in my circle right now. So, but yeah, we good over here. The 1804 camp, good over here. So we getting popping. You know, so I just want to give a special shout out to my homeboy Mark Nels. You know, he been doing it, you know, be killing it with the clothes and the hoodies and all that good stuff. He killing it. So shout out to him. Shout out to my homie Red. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who been, you know what I'm saying, tuning in, sharing the videos and showing me love, man. Appreciate y'all. You know, I'm not that big-headed because you know what I'm saying, I'm only one man. So it's y'all fans who's keeping me grounded, you know, keeping me relevant. So I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, the Super Bowl Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Can't wait for that. Can't wait to watch the game. Then we having the poetry slam. But yeah, here's my guest.
It ain't the Andy Griffith show. What up, dog?
What up? What up? What up, dog? What up, bro?
Happy Black History Month, my brother.
No doubt, man. Hey, man. So I'm playing one of your tracks, man. I don't know how old this is, but that Real Friend, bro.
Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Man, that is so true, bro. Like, that's real, man. That's game.
Thank you,
That's
bro.
game.
Trying to make sure I got my whole head in the pick, man. I appreciate that, bro. Honestly, I forgot that song, because that song was so sentimental to me personally, and it was such a personal song. I honestly thought I took it off the internet. I don't put a lot of my personal stuff out too often, so damn, that's kind of a jewel that you found that, because I thought I took it off.
Man, it found me. I didn't find it. It found me.
That's real.
I've been through that, man, and that's the thing. Like, that would, you know, because I used to always, you know, sit back and think like, dang, like what drives a person to kill? You know what I'm saying? But that betrayal shit, man, like when you invested so much time in a person, when you let a person in, and then you have a bad life, and then you know, open up to them, because you kind of like selective. It's just
Right.
with, you know, depends on your upbringing and stuff, and then that person know your upbringing and what you've been through and still cross you. That's a hurtful feeling, man. That would make a thug cry right there. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, man, and I'm thankful that you know, you made this song. You know, had it on here, because it found me, bro. Because I was trying to look you up, because I was just like, you know, this got to be, you know, a track that everybody can relate to and stuff
100%.
like that. So when you have, you know what I'm saying, put it on here and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, this is the one right here. So.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, man, before I even go into depth about me, I just want to say something about you first, because this is your show. So I just want to say right off the bat, we never really spoke that much, but it was always this mutual respect and this vibe that we always had from the moment we connected. And when I saw you start the show, man, I just want to give props to the show. I want to give kudos to your diligence. I want to give kudos to the confidence, bro. I want to give kudos to the consistency, bro, because that's the thing that matters the most. People don't understand, like, Nike started off in their first year making $60,000 in a year. You know what I mean? In a year, that's Nike. You know, and that was just a shoe at one point. But now it's more than a shoe. It's an NBA player. It's a wristband. It's a shirt. So, you know, for you and your brand and what you're doing, bro, like, I understand what you're doing on a sentimental level because of me and just trying to brand myself. So I just want to give you just super props for doing what you're doing, bro. Like 100%. And I just want to give you those roses and give you that props before we go any further into what I'm doing, because you allowed me on your platform in the beginning. So when it gets somewhere or you get that desk and that good mic and you Funk Master Flex dropping the bombs, I just want to be able to say, hey, I was on live first with my man. So I appreciate it, bro. Salute.
Man, thanks, man. Much love, man. And that's what it's about, bro. Like, just unification, man, and coming together, bro. Because that's the thing. Like, they think that we ain't supposed to, you know, love ourselves and love each other, and we gotta, you know, come together. Cause shoot, everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody isn't supposed to lead. Everybody can't be a leader because they killed all of them. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, I would die for what I believe in, and I would die based on my principles and everything like that. Everybody who ever met me, they like, yeah, this nigga ain't playing. Like, this nigga is serious. So, and I wanted to just create something for all of us, man, because, you know, just like with my friend list and then your friend list, like, that's the beauty of Facebook. That's the beauty of social media. Like, whoever on my stuff is gonna know who you are, and whoever on your stuff is gonna pretty much know, vice versa. So
Right.
it's just all about, what I'm saying, just bringing us into the forefront, man. Because like I said, like everybody who I have interviewed, man, y'all have touched me in a way that, what I'm saying, I gotta get, that's why I have really reached out to you. That's why I came to
Right.
you, because
Right.
it's all love. Because what I'm saying, I be watching you just consistently with the music and the live performances, and you always coming out with that heat, man. And it's an honor, bro. It's a pleasure.
Oh man, get out of here. I be talking some crazy shit too, man. So that's part of the reason why I was looking forward to being on your show, man, because I feel like me and you just share a lot of the same perspectives. You know what I mean? Because music for me is still just politics. It's the same as what you're doing on your podcast. You know what I mean? Just chopping it up with the people, your thoughts, your philosophies. You know what I mean? And allowing people to have the input. You know what I mean? So like it's the same thing for me with music. It's just, I'm politicking, I'm chopping it up with the people, I'm conversating. You know what I mean? So right off the bat, I feel like we already kind of sit in the same stage. And that was what I saw with you. I remember back when I was watching the videos with you live, and you were sitting in the chair. It was two of y'all. I don't know if that was just y'all just trying some stuff out, trial and error then, but you had the other cat who was sitting across from you in the chair, and y'all would chop it up or whatnot. So yeah, man, like I've been definitely watching you for a minute, man. And I wanted to get on the show because first and foremost, beyond the entertainment half of just trying to be famous, I'm a nigga who just like to talk some real shit, and I enjoy talking real shit with real people, so for me, that's definitely what this was all about, man. Like aside from the music, it's just kicking it. And the fact that you listen to the music, you can see in the music, it's relating to real life. That's what we're talking about. Real friends, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about growth, we're talking about building, and yeah, man, it's a movement, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, man, I'm very, picking and choosy about certain people. So when I come to you, that means you the shit. That means you
Hey.
somebody, because it takes a lot to impress me, man. You know what I'm saying? My cousin, was a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
can nobody really impress me like that? But
Like I
it's
seen
just
it already.
yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
know, just like from who you are and stuff like that, man. I was like, man, you got your own vibe to you too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you like a young Devin the dude, man. Like you just be having your own vibe, man. You pretty much stay in your own lane. You your own, competition and everything like that. So, and that's the
Hey,
thing like we need to do.
keep going. I'm listening.
And that's the thing that we need to do is monks, like just not just just like the artist part, just as man, be yourself, be who you
Right.
are, be who you was put on this earth to do. And
Right.
I have always gave a lot of people, their respect when it came down to who they really are, and just being, authentic. Like it's just
Right.
about being, you and everything. Because
Right.
me, I never try to, what I'm saying, diss anybody. I never try to embarrass nobody, stun on nobody, man. Because I'm humble, bro. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
what it's like to have $0 in your pocket, and then go from that to having a 401k and
Mm-hmm.
having this and having that. But at the same time, I'm giving back. I'm giving back.
Right.
What I'm saying, with the stories, and because like I said, we never know who's watching us. You know what I'm saying? So I know this is just going to reach a lot of people, and then show
People
a
don't
lot of
know
these
how
young
important
kids.
that is, bro. People don't know how, like, you saying giving back and you saying in the sense of just these interviews and these conversations. I don't think a lot of people really understand how real that is, because people just see giving back as getting the material, getting a
Hmm.
dollar. You know what I mean? Getting some type of offering, but the realest kind of giving back. But that go back to what you said. You said I'm family. I'm family with a nigga who got $1 million. So that shit don't impress me. And I tell people that all the time in a room, when you're standing in a room full of people who, I guess if you want to call them nobodies because they not rich or whatever. At that point, yeah, finance may matter. But once you surround yourself with a bunch of people who have seen it all and had it all, People are looking for something more real, something more authentic, something more original. So at that point, your millions of dollars or whatever your accessories are, it don't matter. And at that point, it's really gonna boil down to your character and who you are. And you know, like that's that humble thing that you're talking about, where people got to know that no matter what room you in, whether you in a room full of millionaires or a room full of broke people, you don't know the true value of somebody. You know what I mean? Until you chop it up with them, because you'll find a millionaire, have a conversation with him, and this nigga won't be worth shit. Excuse my language in a podcast, bro. You
Oh,
know,
it's all good, man. Do your thing, bro.
yeah,
Ain't no censorship. Do your thing.
you know. So, but what you're speaking about is just is worth in a different kind of way and giving back in a different type of way. It's a different set of morals and values. You know what I mean? That a lot of people don't really grasp the concept of because they so caught up in the material side of shit today. So yeah, man, like you giving these conversations, you allowing people to spit the game that they got. You know what I mean? And when people get that game, if anybody's listening, it's just like your favorite talk show. If you like to watch Regis and Kelly, if you like to watch Maury, you know what I mean? These personalities got real life experiences that you can connect to. You know what I mean? So you definitely giving back in a real way. You know what I mean? Even on a small scale with just starting off on a podcast, doing it on Facebook, bro. You giving back in a real way that I don't think a lot of people gonna get until sometime down the line they see the worth. And by then you're gonna already be in the clouds, bro. For real.
Yeah. And that's what I'm striving for, bro, because I believe in, paying dues, and I really been paying dues all my life, man, because even as a child, I was counted out, man. People, put me in the category, kind of made me an outcast before I asked for it. And I realized at a young age that I couldn't depend on you know, the U.S. education system
Right.
to educate me. I had to re-educate myself. I had to, go through some things. I had to venture out. I had to travel. I had to, live like pretty much different parts of the country for all of this to become, like a dish, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a dish, you know what I'm saying? I needed all those ingredients to make me who I am today. And then when I'm going to be, further down the line, but it's just a lot of people just really, they don't know like origins of people. They don't understand like, we all have a story, we all have things that we had to endure, but good things as well. Like, because I know that a lot of people just be expecting that their blessings would come from somebody they know. But I had a lot of blessings came from strangers. I had a lot of blessings came from white people and stuff like that. And this is not about race and everything. It's about good and evil. It's good versus evil out here. And if anything, I just want to show people that you can make it. You don't have to cross nobody. You don't gotta cross no family. You don't gotta cross no friends to make a statement, to make a movement, to make a change. And I'm doing this just off love, bro. And that's why I'm just everything. When you have good intentions, it's gonna last longer.
Bro, ain't nothing vain about you from the moment we connected, bro. I know that much. That's the reason why we connect, because one thing that I hate is I hate vanity, bro. And I know it ain't about the popularity for you. I know it ain't about looking fly for you. You already confident, nigga. I am fly. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother subject that you already got covered. So I know when you're doing this, you actually doing it because you're trying to create history. You're trying to create something. You know what I mean? The same way with me with music, it's an argument that I'm always having with people. Like I had somebody over here in the studio the other day, and I made a little hook for him, and he was making a verse. And then he made the verse that he made was fire. He was talking about real life shit. And the flow was flawless. And then at some point, like, after he heard the hook, at some point he wanted to start, he was like, I don't know, man. He's like, maybe we need something catchy. You know what I mean? He like, we need something for the people, something. And I was just like, he was like, but that ain't what the people want. He was telling me that ain't what the people want when he was doing, after he started second guessing that complex verse he gave. And then I asked him a question. I was like, what do you mean? What do the people want? I was like, you got two types of people that you can choose to be. And I was like, and you're not wrong for either or. But the question is, which kind of statement are you trying to make? As an artist, you coming in here and you about to make this your first song. Is you trying to be, the radio hit guy? whether it be Soulja Boy or, you know, the guys who got the radio hits, the singles, you know what I mean? If you want to be one of those people, I'm like, that's cool. But know coming in here that that's who you want to be, and that's the audience that you target. Or are you trying to do something? Are you trying to make a real statement? Are you trying to actually build a legacy? Are you actually trying to be great? And then I was just naming him off, you know, the artists who actually take time out to care about albums rather than songs. The artists who actually spend time that you don't even hear from because they putting shit together because they're not giving the people what they want. They're giving the people themselves. You know what I mean? So, and I asked him that question because that first verse was just so solid. And, you know, I was glad that he kind of stepped back and then just stuck with that verse that he originally wrote. But that's the real question for people, man. It's like, what are you really doing it for, man? It's a lot of people in the room, whether we at church or we at whatever the seminar is. It's people in there to be seen and look good. And it's people there who actually there to appreciate the environment. People there who actually there to contribute. You know, and that all boils down to intentions. Like I saw a quote on Facebook, it said, karma is attached to intentions. And that is a true statement. Because at the end of the day, we can all wear the same uniform. We can all look the same. We can all have the same job. We can all be doing the same thing. But the means in the end may not be the same for everybody. And that boils down to what you're doing it for, you know? So to go back to what you were saying, man, like, it ain't about that. It's about actually talking to the people. It's about creating something real. That's a real statement that I live by, bro. And it's such a crutch in today's like the medium that we live in today, where everything is about clout and everything is about how many likes you getting and everything is, you know. So it's this real blurred line between like the intentions and the reasons behind why a lot of people doing shit, and the why matters to me more than the what. Because if I know what you, I don't give a fuck what you doing. You know what I mean? A lot of the times, because your intentions, you may be an ill person, but when I know the why, and the why is something real, when I'm listening to some music and I know the why, when I'm listening to a talk show and I know the why, and it's something that really connect with me, man, that's something I can vibe with. And that's where we connect, bro. Look,
Yeah,
I get
man,
to talk.
absolutely.
Look, you put me on the talk show, I'm going to talk.
It's all good, man. And shoot, keep doing it, man. I love it, man. But you know, it's just also just about, you know, just having something to offer, bro. Like a lot of people don't have just um like a objective, like a main reason why they're doing this. You know, a lot of people, you know, they start off with good intentions and being righteous, and then, you know, later down the line, and it'll, you know, become tainted because they didn't really have a plan. They just, you know, start doing it, and then after that, you know, has sold out. But me, I already know that this is bigger than me. You know, if anything, I'm trying to really get a lot of people to just really think, you know, really, you know, use their brain. You know, it's a lot of people with brains, but they're not using it. And just a
Facts.
lot, it's just a lot of, you know, chaos amongst our communities because, you know, when we was practice, you know, when we was going through segregation, and back in them days, man, we had no choice but to stick together. We had no choice but to stand together. You know, we had more black-owned businesses while we were segregated compared to when they allowed us to come into their world, to their neighborhoods and to their stores and this and that. And I think that created havoc because we lost that unity amongst ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to rebirth that. I'm trying to you know, just bring this to, you know, to 2021, bro. Like, cause it just, you know, with the Black History Month thing, man, it just makes me mad how really just like the youth or whatever, man, they take that as a joke. You know what I'm saying? They comparing NBA YoungBoy to Dr. King, and they're making
Man,
all
see,
these
that's the
memes
shit that
and
I
all this
was
shit.
talking about. That's the shit I was talking about. The what's and the whys, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people are confusing the two. You got to understand, you can't say just because they both was at a certain status, you can't compare those two people to each other. And
Mm-mm.
that's the what and the why that I'm talking about. that line that has been distorted, where people are starting to really, it made me wonder, and I came up with this, my diagnosis for what's going on in the Black community. At some point in time, it stopped being cool to be intelligent, bro. At some point in time, being intelligent became the lame thing, the annoying thing, the not cool thing, the you preachy, you know what I mean? All of that shit, you know what I mean? At some point in time, being an intelligent person stopped being cool. And that it blows my mind, because I run into that a lot with music, because I like to base my music in intellect and being intellectual. I like thought-provoking shit. Even with the conversations you have, like I tapped in on a few of them, and it's always good conversations. But you got to have depth to you and patience to really sit and receive the message a lot of the times. But everybody want candy these days. If they click on it and they just see some shit that they got to sink themselves into and actually got to think about, they ain't got attention span long enough to grasp where the conversation going, let alone be able to chime in and even have an opinion about the conversation. You know what I mean? They need something they can dance to. And that became the problem in the Black community with unity, man. At some point in time, it stopped being cool to be intelligent because niggas started to find other means of getting money. So once everybody started getting their own money, we all got divided. Because it's a dumb nigga out there who got $1 million. And it's a brilliant nigga who only got $50,000. And then it's a lucky nigga who got 100,000. So it's like everybody got these. So now everybody's starting their own businesses with this idea that they got the keys to what success is now, because they got their bag. So instead of us unifying, everybody's trying to be a boss. Don't nobody want to be a worker no more. Like, I think Black people forgot I don't think Black people, not even forgot, I don't think Black people ever really understood what it meant to invest. What it means to invest. Like, that's what Jay-Z was talking about when he was dealing with his issues with title, and how a lot of people, like, you ain't the boss, you just work for the boss. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that, but he was simply saying, like, why go work for somebody else when you can work with me and make just as much money? You know what I mean? And so the issue we got now is, we got a problem where let's say a bunch of Black people decide to start their own businesses, right? And you got your own podcast, right? Now, you telling them, hey, I already got a situation that's popping. I just need a couple more hands on deck so we can take this to the next level. But instead of them seeing the work of what you're doing and investing in it, they go, no, I got my own thing going over here. Now, the thing that they got going might not even be a thing. They might just still have an idea. You know what I mean? And it's dope that you being independent might have motivated them, but sometimes it's just more wise to collaborate and invest in somebody else's idea, especially if y'all kind of live in the same world. If I'm in the world of entertainment and you in the world of entertainment, you do interviews, I rap. You know what I mean? It makes sense to invest in each other at that point, rather than for me to just go over here and try to get other people to invest in me. Because I can, with my business alone and trying to get people to invest in me, my business may be worth, let's say my business is worth $1 million. Now, let's say your business is worth $10 million. Me getting rid of my own business and investing in your business and just having a percentage of your business, me owning just a percentage of your business through investment could be worth more than me owning my own business. And that's the reason why, when you look at a lot of corporate places, when you see them sitting around a corporate table, it's 20 to 50 dudes in a room. It's 20 to 15 dudes in a room, and they all discussing ideas. And these men are all shareholders in one product, but that product is worth billions of dollars. So each one of those men who sit around that table are worth millions of dollars. You know what I mean? But people don't grasp that, because every nigga want to be the lead. Every nigga want to be the boss. Every nigga think they got it. And it's just like, that's not knocking nobody and saying that you ain't got it. That's not knocking nobody and saying that you can't get it. But at the same time, it's saying, hey, man, maybe this is what you best at and this is what I'm best at. And if we put this together, you know what I mean, we can really capitalize, because that's the other half of business. Beyond just being innovator, it is necessary to capitalize. It is necessary to be a bit of an opportunist, but not in a malicious way though. I don't like opportunists all the time because they predators, but it's wise to capitalize sometimes. And a lot of black people don't understand that that's where the unity is. The unity is in the fact that white people in their communities, they shop at their own stores. They go to the school board and they vote together. They got opinions about what's going on in the community. They got a local plow dude that they all pay. You know what I mean? While as niggas would just be like, well, I'm gonna get a plow truck, and I'm gonna get a plow truck, and I'm gonna get a plow truck. So now everybody can only plow like one different street. When y'all can just start a business and just, but it's so complex, man. Like, I don't think black people understand the concept of investment. And that's a big part of our unity issue, because everybody just want their own. Everybody want to be the name of the product. Everybody want to be the face of the product. But this is about growth as a community and as a culture, and not just as individuals. And I think that we done got so far removed from unity that we so busy focused on individuality, which is a great thing, but we losing our culture, and we losing our race, and we losing our community in the process, bro.
Oh, absolutely, man. And just like today's topic, you know, they're not mad that what you're doing is, they're mad because it's you doing it. Because a lot of people, man, you'd be surprised who hates you and who dislike you, never met you, never sat down with you, never, you know, compensated with you. And that's the thing. Like, I had to realize that, you know, if I was going to, you know, go into this strong, that I had to reveal a self, well, part of myself that I, you know, kept hitting in the cage, because I was just always like the watcher, but now I'm the participant, and I'm participating in just, you know, allowing people to see that you ain't gotta be too young, you don't gotta be too old to do something. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late. It's only too late when you allow yourself to be too late. And just also with, you know, just what you're saying, I just think that when it comes to just like certain people are very stagnated by just their way of thinking. Because, you know what I'm saying, slavery was a choice, you know what I'm saying? Even though a lot of people took it out of context, because we enslave ourselves, man, because we can be so well beyond where we at, but we allow ourselves to just be put at the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Because we thinking, like, because I'm thinking dollars, but a lot of people thinking cents. A lot of people don't have sense, you know, they only have common sense. And common sense will tell you that, you know what I'm saying, am I living a dream or am I living a nightmare? And that's the thing about denial that a lot of us possess. We possess denial because we let certain things and certain people put certain thoughts in our heads and saying that we're not good enough. But I feel like everybody can eat. Everybody can, you know, be like us. Everybody can be an individual, but it's just everybody doesn't possess those type of qualities.
And you got to know yourself to know that. But that's a whole nother conversation in itself. Like, you got to be self-reflective. It's okay to self-deprecate for the better good. Criticism. It makes it easier to deal with criticism when it comes from other people, when you at least aware of yourself. And that's not just being aware of all your pros, but that's being aware of your cons too. Because once you know both sides of the situation, your goods and your bads, then you know your best job. Like me, I know I can't do everything. I'm a jack of all trades, don't get me wrong. I can do a lot of shit. But can I do everything at my best? No. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that I can do 100% because that's what I do. There's certain things that I can't do at 100% because it's just not within my lane. I was telling this girl, a friend of mine, she was going to college, and she was going for nursing, but she hates the sight of blood. And I'm telling her, I'm like, you can't just go to school to get a job just to get the job. You know what I mean? Like, what if this job ain't you and you've wasted your time? You've wasted your life and now you owe money for a job in a career that you didn't even pursue. You know what I mean? And I was just having this conversation with her, and I was just like, you got to go with what you know and know yourself. And that's not limiting yourself. That's not limiting yourself at all. That's just knowing yourself so you can better navigate how to get through this fucking world that we live in. You know what I mean? If you don't know yourself, you're gonna keep running into walls. And I feel like when you say that to people, when people think in that way, they think that they're limiting themselves and telling themselves what they can't do. It's not about focusing on what you can do, but it's just about focusing on what you know you can do. We all can improve. We all gonna build on skills. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's best to focus on what you can. I'm a personality. You are too. You know what I mean? You're a person, and that's the reason why I feel like we do what we do, because we know, yeah, I can lift heavy shit, I can fix shit, I can do a lot of things, but I'm a personality, and I got some information, I got some knowledge about me that I can give to the world, and on top of that, I'm a learner. I like information. So I want to see what I can get back from the people that I chop it up with. And in doing this, this is going to resonate to any of the viewers and any of the watchers. You know what I mean? And that's just knowing who you are. You know what I mean? So you can know, get in where you fit in. And some people are bosses. Some people are bosses just by nature. Some people just, they take charge. They make executive decisions. You know what I mean? They're good at demanding. They're good at getting people to, and then some people are just better at being workers. You know what I mean? Some people are better at just getting a task and doing that task. You know what I mean? Because they may not be as much of a free thinker as others are. You know what I mean? Some people are a lot 1, 2, 3, a bit mechanical, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like, because I tell you one thing about me, like, it's certain shit that I'm not gonna do. Like, I'm not a mechanic. You know what I mean? Like, thank God for the mechanics. You know what I mean? I know what the problem is, but I'd rather pay somebody because I can't do that. You know, but that's just knowing who you are, so you can know your job and, you know, play your role, man. And that's not a bad thing. I feel like people really need to look deeper into that and not feel so like, people need to stop having the idea that they can do anything. And that's not nothing wrong with feeling you can do anything, but it just being real enough to go, okay, I'm trying to be successful. I'm trying to be mature. I'm trying to grow up. I got to do what I have to do and do what I want to do and do what I know all at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, you got to fuse all of these things together to make these choices to kind of move forward. And, you know, and sometimes it's going to be telling yourself, no, that's not it for me. You know, and it feels like defeat when that happens sometimes, but it's a necessary thing so you can continue to move forward and not run into those walls, man. But like you said, some people ain't got that it's that common sense and then it's sense. And, you know, they definitely, they very different. You know what I mean? One is a lot more practical and one of them is a lot more broad than the other. And, you know, but yeah, man, you know, it's just, people just got to not be afraid to know themselves, man. Look at yourself, man.
Man, I got this story for you, bro.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I mean cut you off.
No, you good. I was just talking until you took the mic, man.
I got the story for you, man.
Okay.
Like back in, 10 years ago, well, 11 years ago. It was like before I went to Job Corps and everything. All my family members had washed their hands with me, man. Cut me off and everything, and I had to go live in a homeless shelter. So when I first got there, man, I was in tears, bro. I was crying like a little bitch and everything like that. And then this guy came up to me. He was like, "Hey, man, man, suck it up, man. It ain't that bad and this and that. Everything gonna be okay, young blood," and stuff like that. So that whole day, man, he was just like, you know what I'm saying, took me under his wing and just gave me that reassurance, man, that, you know what I'm saying, just because you're down, you're not out, man. How old is you, man? You still got, potential. You still got this, you still got that. So I always, you know what I'm saying, kept that with me. And then, because I met him and I met another guy. Because I was at the same place that my brother passed away at that homeless shelter. The same homeless shelter my brother passed away at, I was there.
Wow.
But that was like 5 years later. But basically, I was there for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to meet another guy. His name was Wayne. You know, I slept at the bottom bunk. He slept at the top bunk. And I was crying again, man, because I felt hopeless. I felt like that it was no, coming back after that. And so he's like, "Hey, man, what's the matter, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sleep, man." But then we went from that to compassion. And then he also, talked to me, man. He was just like, look, man, look, I'm here, but I chose to be here.
Right.
Nobody made me come here. But what are you going to do with yourself? What you going to do with your life? And let me tell you something. You don't begin your life when you're born. You begin your life when you're on your own. And he asked me, so what you want to do? And I said, I want a better life. And he was like, hey, only you can determine that. Only you can make that happen. Nobody else can make that happen but you. And I always took his words and I ran with that, man. And that's 11 years ago, bro. I was 22 years old going through all that, being homeless and sleeping at both my grandmother's houses and my sister's house, my cousin's house, my auntie house. Man, it was just one of those things that a lot of us young men go through. Just that sense of not knowing who you are because you didn't have somebody to tell you who you are. You didn't have really a good example to follow and stuff. So you go to where the other men at, usually the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I was just out here, in the wilderness for a while, and but it just took me to endure all that. And that's what made me become self sufficient and self independent and self reliant.
Right.
But I respect anybody, man, because, on social media and stuff like that, shoot, they make it seem like, you know, bums is a bad thing. Like like we didn't all have something that we had to overcome. And everybody they come with a trust fund. Everybody come with a inheritance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sometimes go and inherit things yourself, and not just with money, but you inherit the knowledge, you inherited
Mhm.
the work ethic, you inherited the will to win. And I
Mhm.
have inherited that, and just by meeting other people and talking to other people, bro. And I realized when I got to where I wanted to do and where I wanted to go, I realized I wasn't the only one going through that. So that really changed my perspective because I was like, damn, like I thought I was the only one. But when you realize when you're not the only one, you give it everything you got after that.
Mhm. I'll tell you what saved me, man. Relating to everything that you just said, bro. Because I remember you made a post a while back saying how you can't watch the Antoine Fisher story. And me and you, we kind of had a little conversation in that little comment section because
Hmm.
I went through something very similar. You know what I mean? And to skip past the hard knocks, man. I tell you what saved me, bro, was music, man. And but but what I got from the music was the same thing that you got, that realizing that you're not the only one. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how many times a motherfucker tell you you're not the only one, no matter how many times you see the movies, you see the TV shows, you know what I mean? You hear the stories, no matter how many times, you know what I mean? Even when I was in the group home, this dude used to always tell me, everybody got a sad story, man. Everybody got a sad story. And it's no matter what, even with broken heart, a motherfucker can tell you about a broken heart 100 times. They can tell you about how these women break your heart. They can tell you and tell you and tell you and tell you and tell you. But once you in the thick of it and you alone and you in that space, you know what I mean? Like that's when you feel it. That's when you know just how real it is. And unfortunately for the people who didn't get the opportunity to be shielded from that or have those role models tell us what and what not to do, we had to run into those things head first. You know what I mean? And just survive it, learn from it, and stick that shit out. And music was definitely the thing that did it for me because I listened to these songs and like it was stuff that I experienced, but I didn't experience enough. But once my mind kicked in and I started to experience more shit, and I'm listening to these songs, and then all of the lyrics just start to make sense. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like all of the stories just start to make sense. So when I listen to Motown music, it's like as much as I love to rap, like true story. I listen to like way more like Motown and funkadelic music than anything. But you listen to that music and it's just like it's real life. You know what I mean? It's real stories. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Marvin Gaye being killed by his father. You know what I mean? Just over enviousness of fame and money. You know what I mean? Or just Brenda's Got a Baby. You know what I mean? You know, like Brenda's Got a Baby was probably the first song when I started trying to rap. The first song I ever wrote wasn't even my own song. I had Brenda's Had a Baby on this on the CD, and I would rewind that song over and over and over again and just keep writing the lyrics. That song was just so real to me. You know what I mean? So for me, man, it was music that kind of hit me with that. And like, it's fucked up that through all of that stress and all that pain that you see in the world, but it's fucked up that it give you a little bit of relief when you see that everybody's going through it and you see that people survived it. You see people on the other side of it, smiling, happy with their head up, doing well. You know what I mean? And that's the shit that give you hope that, all right, I can do this, you know? And yeah, man, music was definitely like, that was my therapy. I mean, I had a lot of like people personally in my life, but it was music for me more or less to just, you know, it was just it was a book with all of these tragic stories and shit like that, you know what I mean? And, but these people was, you know, they was all right. Some didn't have happy endings. Some still ended pretty bad, but just knowing that other people went through it and being able to see the duality between the people who failed and the people who overcame, you know what I mean? It's definitely, that was my therapy, man. So I 100% can relate to you on need and relations and need and people who can need and to see that relatability sometimes just to bring peace to whatever you're going through. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can feel alone, and feeling alone will make something seem impossible. You know what I mean? But when you got people who can relate to you, you get a sense of, okay, this is possible. I can do this. So 100%, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, I can really relate to that because you know when I told that story like a couple years ago, well, like a few years ago, man, you know, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people laughed and a lot of people, you know, inboxed me and was just grateful because I pretty much spoke their life. I spoke their childhood just with me or whatever, because that's taboo. You know, they don't think that can happen to young boys. And a lot of young boys suffer through that. And then when you're born innocent. And then they get mad at how you know, turn out. But I wanted to, you know, be the sacrificial lamb and just allow people to understand that when it comes to certain things, it's not gender, it's not sex, it's not, you know, one-sided, you know, because a lot of this stuff is a double standard and everything like that. And just like with this Me Too movement, man, that you know help incarcerated a lot of our public figures, our legends, and this and that. But you got to ask that question, like, who touched them, who raped them, and who, you know, introduced that to them? Because even as a 33-year-old male, bro, I still struggle with certain things, but I still, you know, try to become a good person. I still, you know, I never hurt anybody because I was hurt. And they say hurt people, but that's not always the case. That's not always true. Everybody doesn't repeat the same cycle. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it's all about, you know, the choices, and the choices that you make can, you know, either bring up or bring down somebody else, you know what I'm saying? The people that you love and this and that. Cause I'm just really just, you know, just trying, you know, my best, man. That's why I work my ass off, man. Like it's been the hardest that I have ever worked in my life. But I just really trying to show my mother, you know, one day when she, you know, gain her wings or when she meet with God, that she would know that I'm taken care of. Like she won't have to worry about that. Cause she worry about me a lot because I'm her last son that she got left. And it just, you know, I think about that every day because a lot of times, you know, she really don't be knowing what's on my mind, but it just feels good knowing that, you know, I'd have taken something and just made it into reality. And it's just think, you know, what you just said with Nike. What if the person that sat down and created that What if they you know what I'm saying, took the piece of paper and balled it up and threw it in the trash? We
Mm-hmm.
won't even be wearing the stuff we wearing. We won't even, you know that it exists. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's the beauty of idea, is that not only it will impact you, but it will affect others. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And beyond. Because that's a
Mm-hmm.
40-year-old company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing. And just the fact how we are, you know, we sitting down, we 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 talking, we conversing, and you know, not once it has been any disagreements, and that's the
Right.
thing that's really destroying us, because everybody, like you said, everybody wants to be right. Everybody, you know, wants their idea to be put in the front and this and that. Because even with me, I'm only one man, so I know that I can't change the world by myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need like a piece of you. I'm gonna need a piece of somebody else, and that's somebody else. That's somebody else. That's somebody else, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how we, you know, can knock down these barriers.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, and that right there is that it's a sacrifice, because it's like, if this is for the embetterment or if this is for progression, even if there are disagreements, if it's not productive and it's counterproductive towards the movement, let's not even bring those into this conversation. You know what I mean? Like, if we, and that's just in business, that's just in anything, is there's a certain level of compromise, there's a certain level of understanding, you know what I mean? There's a certain level of chemistry that's got to be there. You know what I mean? So you know, the whole unity thing, just having a movement, it's got to be a certain level of chemistry there. And if we focusing on the cons, if we focusing on the disagreements, even if there are some, it's just like in the beginning of your podcast when I was watching, like, people were saying stuff about your setup. You know what I mean? And people was making comments about, you know, and it's just like, but I'm doing the podcast. Are you getting the point? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, so
Right,
you being counterproductive to the whole point of what we doing right now. You focusing on the light switch in the background. Are you hearing the conversation? You know what I
right.
mean? And I feel like that's a big issue that I feel like that we're dealing with a lot of the times. Is just, I feel like people just miss the point, being focusing on everything else around. You know what I mean? Everything else around, and it just makes it hard. You know, it's easy to nitpick. It's easy to find issues. You know, and if we on the business side of things do find disagreements, if we having a conversation and we do have disagreements, those disagreements won't necessarily, if handled properly towards moving forward, those disagreements won't handicap, they won't hurt, they will only build. You know what I mean? Because through those disagreements, that's agreeing to disagree. That's critical thinking. You know what I mean? Those are things that kind of have to happen sometimes. You know what I mean? Conflict with chemistry, you put two chemicals together, some shit may blow up. You know what I mean? But you kind of got to keep trying until you get the right thing. Because I have my own opinion and I have my own experiences, that's not enough. You know what I mean? If we're talking about progression, if we're talking about moving forward. So yeah, man, there's just a certain level of compromise that you got to have when it comes to unity, when it comes to having a movement, when it comes to working together, period. There's a certain level of sacrifice that you just got to let go of. You know what I mean? You may have your own perspective. You may have your own way, to more than one way to skin a cat. You may have your own way. That's cool. And we may use that way sometime. But right now, we all need to work on this and agree with this to move forward. And I think a lot of people miss that point of a lot of times you have conversations with people and y'all both agree with each other and y'all both right in your own right. But a lot of the times, rather than for somebody to just be like, all right, let me just come to your side, it just be two people just trying to live on two sides of it. But they both right, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But sometimes in being a guy like you know what I mean? And I like to think, I ain't gonna lie, you are, I will openly hard to admit that you probably a lot more patient than I am. Like, Like you a lot more cool, calm, and collected. I be talking some shit sometimes, man.
Man, I try to be, man. I try to be.
100%. But you know what I mean? I tap into that a lot, you know what I mean? And in being that kind of person, unfortunately, and I don't even want to say unfortunately because it's not a bad thing, but somebody's always just going to be like the giver. You know, the one who has the most patience, the one who's going to put up with the most shit. You know what I mean? The person who's willing to make those sacrifices. And that's what, you know what I mean, when we talk about Martin Luther King's, when we talk about even the Nipsey Hussle, you know what I mean? Like, when you that kind of person, unfortunately, in relationships, sometimes somebody's just going to have to be that person. And especially if we're talking about a movement, you know what I mean? When it's a movement, when we're talking about the masses, when we're talking about the culture, you know what I mean? Especially with such a jaded, hurt, angry culture that we have today, somebody's got to just be like, all right, I'm gonna take all my armor off. You know what I mean? I'm trying to break these barriers. You know what I mean? And it ain't gonna be many people who do that throughout history. That's always been the case. It just ain't that many people who hard into it like that. They in it, you know what I mean? But they ain't in it like that. You know what I mean? They ain't front line. You know what I mean? They in there though. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how it is, man. You know, so it's definitely a necessary thing to just be able to. It's always easy to disagree, but it's necessary to be able to make that sacrifice so we can move forward, man. Sometimes you just got to let somebody else take the wheel and just be willing, going back to unity, going back to working together, going back to investing. Sometimes you just got to let somebody else take the wheel. But you know what I mean? You cover the rear, you know?
Oh, absolutely, man. And just being a leader, you know, you realize your limitations, you realize your weaknesses and stuff like that. And there's a lot of things that I'm learning. You know, I'm just like a month deep. So I'm very open into, you know, figuring out, okay, what do I need to do and what do I need to improve on? And because it's all about just having grace and having sense of, okay, I can't do this by myself. So let me, you know, try to, you know, recruit somebody who knows how to do it. Because when I first started this, man, I started this just, you know, one Saturday at work, bro, and just was like, you know, told everybody, get the fuck away from me. I'm focusing, I'm brainstorming. And so just the fact, like, just the brainstorming just allowed me to realize, like, okay, let me, you know, reach out to these people and stuff like that. Cause I'm, like I said, I watch. So if you, cause like my graphic designer, you know, I never met him, I never talked to him before, but I have, you know, contacted him, was like, hey man, you know, I'm a mutual friend of yours and stuff like that. And I would love if you can become a part of this. And then, you know, I reached out to producers I know, you know, so that did beats and like, hey man, you know, I got an idea, you know, can you help me? But it was just by me always supporting them and supporting others, because you gotta, in order to get help, you gotta give help. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look out for people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, my bad,
and
bro. You was preaching. I was over here. I was in the stands real quick because I was never really a promoter on the business side of entertainment. I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I do. I like to draw. I like to create shit. I like to rap. I just like to make dope shit. And, you know, when you step into like the world of the business side of quote unquote show business, that become a real big thing. You know what I mean? Knowing how to work together, knowing how to find chemistry. And when you a genuine person, man, a lot of the times you run into situations of people who just don't believe, people who, you know, or if you ain't already at a certain status, you just run into people who don't believe. You run into disingenuous people. You find yourself getting used. You know what I mean? You find people trying to manipulate you. Interior motives, man, and ulterior motives, and yeah, man, it's and through it all, if you consider yourself a leader, it's just the shit you got to put up with. You know what I mean? Because that's just part of the game, unfortunately. Not everybody's going to have an honest, pure heart. Not everybody is out here, you know what I mean, for the love of the culture and just for the love of the art. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are, they just in it for the business. And, that's the other half of it that you just got to understand and just, unfortunately, a lot of the times shrink, you know what I mean? And know how to shrink and know how to, so you can get in these rooms, so you can navigate these rooms and rub elbows, and shit. I just had a situation with, I went to the spot to perform a couple of days ago. I made a post about it, and it was some new people who was running this joint, and the DJ, he already seemed a little iffy. One thing about me, man, is I try to be the most kind, respectful person I can be, especially, in somebody else's domain. You know what I mean? If I come to your house, I'm going to take my shoes off at the door. You know what I mean? I'm going to stump my shoes off before I walk through your door. I'm not going to just walk through your house and go to the bathroom. I'm going to ask for a cup of water. You know what I mean? I'm very cautious about not overstepping my boundaries. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm a very over analytical person, so I'm very observant, because I don't want to make mistakes. So I like to make sure I'm right about certain shit. And I go into this spot, and the dude is his demeanor's a little off. I can tell that this is a members only kind of situation. You know what I mean? No new faces. So I come in, and of course I'm a new face, so I write my name down, and my name says Haze, Haze. So, I talked to the DJ and I let him know this is my track. The DJ is not really listening to me. He's barely paying attention to me, kind of just blow me off. I'm like, all right, this don't feel good. This don't feel right. Something about to go wrong. So I'm like, all right. I go back, I sit down, I chill. Now I see the host go in the booth. Now I see them having a conversation. They look over at me because I'm the first one to perform. So I see he point me out. I'm like, all right, So he walks past me and he let me know he got me. I'm like, okay. But it just felt weird, so it's my turn to get on set because I'm first, but they call like 2 to 3 people up before me. So I'm like, okay, like I said, I'm a new face. They're probably gonna look out for their friends first. Somebody made a pay some extra, I don't know. So whatever. So then I sit back down, I'm clapping it up for everybody. Woo, 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 woo. I'm showing love, And so, all positive. And then now it's like after like the third person, they like he's like, all right, now it's time for the artist. And it's just like his demeanor is just like, he goes, so my name says Haze. This man said, somebody, I don't know this person's name, what is this? Days? Saturdays? Saturday. Dog.
Wow, dog. That's messed up, man.
He like days, Saturday. Is there a Saturday out there? I'm like, Saturday. This nigga know damn well it don't say Saturday on this piece of paper, bro. So he goes, well, I guess not. All right, next. I'm like, wow. So I hop up at that point. I walk up, I grab the mic. I'm like, it's Haze, bro. So I go to do my set. I'm a little upset at this point. So I do a little freestyle. I talk some shit, you know what I mean? Just indirectly talk some shit. And then I go into my song. But of course, the DJ is just as chump as him. So when my song play, they play this Rihanna song on accident. When I gave this nigga my fucking song, and he came up to me and told me he got me. And I told this nigga this shit like plenty of time before the set even started, and I'm first. So then they don't let me get the good mic. I got the bad mic. So after my set is done, which I said fuck everything, I told them to stop the beat, and I just spit to the crowd real quick. They liked it. I sat down. And so he goes back up, and after that, he's giving everybody, his little friends, he's giving them the good mic. And then he says, yeah, this is the mic you're supposed to have. So I get with this situation and I go, but this is what I got to deal with because I can't be on some nigga shit. I can't just get mad. I can't just be. This is unfortunately the business. I gotta go in here, still be on because even though he a flake ass nigga, it's a lot of other good genuine artists in here. You know what I mean? It's still a fair function. I can't control whatever kind of guy this guy is, but that's the other half of it that you got to deal with. It's the pros and cons, but that go back to me just saying when you consider yourself a leader, you know what I mean? Like he might have had the mic, but he was not a leader. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But when you consider yourself a leader, that's called being the bigger man. It's a lot of things that come with that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that come with being a leader. A lot of different ways to display leadership. You know what I mean? And sometimes everybody in the room won't even know what just happened, but you know what happened. You know what I
Right.
mean? And a few real people might have saw what happened. You know what I mean? And they know too. And you know, they gonna dap you up like, hey man, you handled that like a gentleman. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like in this world, it's like you said, you gotta be willing to do for. You gotta be willing to, and part of that is the sacrifice. You gotta deal with some bullshit sometimes. And you can't even be mad about it. You just gotta understand that this is the business, this is how people are. If you at a job and you gotta lift 100 pounds 20 times in a day and that's your job, by the fucking 15th time you lift it, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but you still gotta get to 20. You know what I mean? You gotta do this shit for the next 4 days until you get to Friday. And I mean, that's just part of the situation, man. And like I said, going back to just being leaders, can't be a quitter. You know what I mean? You just got to stay diligent. You got to stay positive. You got to continue to still be the bigger person, show respect, give, have that patience, man. So yeah, man, that's a testament right there, man. People have no idea what it really means to be a leader because it's more than just being the dude with the microphone. For real.
Yeah, bro, man. Like I said, man, like I really enjoyed this interview, bro. But I'm gonna have to like wrap this up.
Hey, look, I gotta do some laundry, nigga. I was trying to do it beforehand. Look.
Man. But yeah, bro, like this was good, man. We we gonna do this again, man. Like I love the vibe, bro. I got other things, you know, I gotta set up for, bro. We gotta do this poetry thing and stuff like that. But we gonna do this again.
Well, I hope we do. And you got to let me do something for you if you ain't already got plans for it. You should let me do a little song for your fucking intro. I'll even do a little video clip. If you got some graphic art or something you want me to throw on there, send me something, bro. We can create you a nice little intro to the show to have on there at some point. I don't know if you start to do some maybe pre-recorded ones or something like that, or just something to post to let everybody know when the next one's coming. I'll do like a little signature song with some shit, bro.
Okay, man. Shoot, no doubt, bro. Anytime, bro. Like I said, man, we all we got, man. We in this together, bro. Like you a part of the family too now, man. So
I
like,
appreciate it, bro.
but thank you for coming to the show, man, and you know, blessing me, man, with such knowledge, man. Like I said, I'm a sponge. You know, even though this is my show, I'm a sponge, bro. Like I learn from everybody, man, and what you have given, man, I'm taking it with me, bro. I'm striving with
Same
this.
here, bro. Same here. Look, we moving at the same pace, bro. I'm right next to you. We on the same boat, bro. We about to get there. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the show. My name is Saheed Haze. To anybody who watched and everybody out there, please continue to tap into the show, man. I'm always sharing it. And go check out some of my tunes too. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody for watching. And thanks for having me on the show, bro.
All right, bro. You take care, man. Thank you, dog.
Yes, sir. Be good, man.
All right, bro. You too.